Hello, friends. I am just waiting for my partners to come on. And today we are going to discuss accessibility and advocacy, disability advocacy, especially when we are talking about events, but also in our parenting. Good morning, good morning, good morning. My friend Natasha Nelson from Supernova Mama and I are putting on a my fifth summit, and we have come across some. It's been interesting trying to do our best to make this summit as accessible as possible, and we're going to discuss that and why it's so important. And I'm just waiting for them to pop on here. So good morning, y'all. Where y'all from? Where y'all at? And it's not morning. It's not morning. I keep saying good morning. It's not. Sure is noon. Okay? Sure is noon. Inviting her right now. And then we're just gonna wait for Kashana to come on. Oh, good. Oh, hey, Bristol, Virginia, Wyoming. I have always wanted to visit Wyoming. Um, it just seems so beautiful from the things that I watch. Now, how friendly is it to the like, you know, I can't be going anywhere where I'm gonna be attacked. Let me know in the comments. It's one place I wanna visit. Natasha, you having problems again with getting on? It looks like it. So again, I'm just waiting for my friends to get on, but it's beautiful, not friendly. Then I'm not going. I'll watch it through the TV. Okay. Thank you for telling me because I don't need to spend my money going anywhere. Uh, if I'm not, there we go. If I'm not welcome, if I'm not wanted, not happening. I will just watch it through the TV. Well, it's funny because I recently, hey girl,
And
I recently purchased some land, and that was one of the big considerations where I purchased the land was what is the Black population in that area? I live in Arkansas. So there are still sundown towns in Arkansas. Anyway, hey girl.
hi, love.
How you doing?
I just wanted to make sure that Kashana had the link,
Okay.
the Instagram. So I logged in and then logged out. So that's why it kind of looked like I couldn't join, but it was just me making sure that she had the link to the Instagram just in case.
Okay.
Everybody. And let me go ahead and give I don't want to say warning because it shouldn't be a warning, the PSA that I have a 5-year-old autistic child who is home with me, and
Yeah.
she do not care about y'all lives and none of that stuff. So
You
she
know,
will come and tell me to make her some water and apple juice and different things during this live, and it is what it is.
it is what it is. We are parents. We got these autistic children, and they could give zero damns about us and what we doing. Okay. Scared of news? Oh, wait, ain't nobody got time for no nooses in the North Virginia woods. Stay from up there. So, what I was telling them is we wanted to have a discussion about accessibility, and not just in parenting, because as parents of neurodivergent children, we have to figure out how to make their environments accessible, right? But
Absolutely.
also as people who are throwing events, because we've gone through some stuff trying to make this event accessible.
Yeah.
It is not easy and it is not cheap.
Not at all. So yes, absolutely. So a big thing for me that I have has stuck in my head with all my training, with all my networking, with other self advocates has been nothing about us without us. Um, and what you realize very early on in that process of trying to live by that is that it kind of makes it hard. People kind of purposely make it hard to be
Yeah.
accessible. So you could you have to pay more to have captions for a lot of these programs and platforms. And then even if you do that, a lot of times the caption is not that
Right.
great, especially when you're coming from a cultural aspect, right? So you're looking at African American women. I'm not going to speak for her, but I'm country. I am proud, country and proud. And so a lot of times these captionings don't understand what I'm saying, or they misinterpret it. And so then that person who may be deaf or hard of hearing or may just have a audio processing disorder and needs to see those words in front of them, they may not fully get the gist of what I'm saying. And then there's just the cultural aspects of mistranslating what someone is
Yeah.
saying. And so one of the things that you can do to alleviate that is called a cart writer, which is a in real time caption writer who has been trained to write the captions as they're being spoken.
Right.
And so that they usually come at around $45 to $50 an hour. And so that's something that you have to pay for because you want your platform to be accessible to all parents. There's also the ability to have an ASL interpreter. And something else that I've just ran into that I didn't think about is this is a virtual summit, which means that we might get international clients or parents or families who would want to come. And there's different types of ASL.
Yeah.
And so thinking about the difference between American Sign Language versus British Sign Language. And then even inside of America, believe it or not, there is Black Sign Language. Just like there is African American English Vernacular, there is African American English Sign Language. So
I think Kashana's might be having some issues with getting on.
yeah,
Um,
let
okay.
me.
She sent me a message right now. So yes, that's one of the things that we are kind of struggling with. Did you
I sent
message them?
the link. Let me see if I can. Oh, I know what I can do
Let's see.
there. And then let me go to her name.
Yeah,
And it should.
we're live, sweetheart.
There we go. It should send it to her. There we go. I sent it to her. So yes. So yeah. So looking and thinking about those different aspects, and trying to be as accessible as possible, but also being honest about the fact that I am a year out in this nonprofit. I don't have a whole bunch of
Yeah,
money.
not a lot of
If
money.
Yes, and so we've been looking at grants and different opportunities and organizations that would actually pay for supporting us and being as accessible as possible. So having an ASL team, having a cart rider, ensuring that we have a platform that allows for perfect. There we go. She's here for captioning. Let's
Yes,
see, and let's see if I can
I
if we can.
invited.
Perfect. Okay. Making sure that we have uh, a platform that also allows for people to maybe take a sensory break, or
Yes,
go to a calming place. Like all of those things take money, and take effort and take the actual want to be accessible. And it's
right.
things that the parenting summits don't think about, but it's something that we cannot afford to not think about. Which reminds me, is there a way to put captioning on lives? I don't know. I
There's
don't do
not. That's what I'm saying. We are at the mercy of
I don't
is
do
the echo. There's not. That's what I'm saying. We are at the
We can
mercy
hear you.
of
Can you hear us?
is the
There's a
echo.
little bit of an
Hi, can you guys hear me?
we can hear you. Can you hear us? There's a little bit of an echo.
I'm sorry. Sometimes the audio can come in and out. Oh man. To be honest, I almost kind of slept through the time because I have this new medication I'm taking that makes me sleep nearly half the day away. So, but I'm here. I'm good.
We can
I'm
hear
just
you.
uh,
Something where you
oh
will
man.
make a
Um,
schedule because I
you guys can hear
do
me, right?
too. We can hear you. Something where you will make a schedule
Yes.
because I so if we need to,
The
that's
audio
a
is
part of being
cutting in and out.
is being yeah. So we can absolutely. So if we need to, that's a part of being is being that. So we can absolutely schedule if that's.
No, I was just saying because I am deaf and so when the
Hmm.
audio isn't exactly clear, I
I
miss crucial
think what's happening
information.
Yeah.
is if you're
Uh,
watching on something, it's we can
I
hear
think what's
ourselves,
happening
Mhm.
is if you're watching
and
on
that's
something, it's we can hear
unfortunately,
ourselves,
and this is something that
okay.
Meta needs to fix
and that's
because you're probably
unfortunately,
needing
and
to
this is something that
have two
Meta needs
devices
to fix
to do this
because
live.
you're probably needing to have two devices to do this live.
That is so weird. That is so. I'm not watching. I'm on my phone
Yeah.
primarily with the live. Like I'm on the live, but I'm not like on
Do you
another
Yeah.
device or anything. So
maybe it's a
it's really really
interference?
weird. It's
Do you
Can
maybe
you
it's
leave
a
and come back in?
interference? Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, I don't know.
Do you see what happens when things are not accessible?
When things are not
Like this is the whole point. This is why we are really working hard to we're working hard to make sure that the summit is accessible because there's no way to put captioning on this live. There's no way to ensure that somebody who does not have who is hard of hearing is Meta does need to get
yeah,
it together. Like why isn't there an option for captions on here?
that could
That doesn't make any sense.
absolutely.
We're gonna try it again. And the thing is, we wanted to have Kashana on here because uh, this is what she talks
Yep.
about. So let me,
Mhm. And it's an important conversation to have, and for anyone who is planning any type of parenting summit to think about, because you're basically keeping out a bunch of parents who may need your assistance and may need that education.
Hello.
That's better, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
yay!
No. No. This. I live in the dark. So.
It's
You
So.
okay.
I.
And you can even turn your video off if you
yeah, if
want.
you want to turn your video off, that's
Yeah.
absolutely fine. However you want to show
I.
up.
I live in the dark because even in my own room, I tend to do stuff in the dark, which, hello, like, that's not good for your eyes. Like, I already have vision loss and hearing loss, and I need any more losses in my life. But in regards to sensory sensitivities, I live in the dark because as someone who's sensitive to lights, even like a bedroom, like my room has like tall ceilings. My room has like but like if you're in this room is like 10 feet tall, if not taller. So there's no like light fixtures where you can turn on a light from. You can turn on the light from the light switch, but it has to be like one of those plug-in lamps or whatever. But anyways, I'm not a house developer. This is not what this conversation is about.
Well, we're so
But
happy you were able to join because I mean, what just happened was exactly what why we're having this conversation right now. We wanted to make sure that the summit that we're having on July 27th and 28th is as accessible as possible. And when we asked you to be part of the summit, we understood that you need accessibility tools.
yeah.
And it was important for us to be able to provide those for you.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think, I'm not gonna lie, having this conversation is definitely important, and not just in the essence of accessibility, but in the essence of
Yeah.
representation. And when I mean representation, I mean the sense of black and brown representation. And I have done a lot of flack and backlash for just coming on and speaking about race and disability and the nuance and the intersectionality of these topics. Like, they're like, oh, well, while you're bringing up race, why does race have to be brought up into everything? And that
Yeah.
irritates my soul because it's like, if you cannot talk about race, you cannot talk about disability.
Yes.
Those two things cannot be separately discussed. And and I'm not excluding white disabled people in this sense. I'm speaking in the sense that that's all we see online. And
Yep.
like I'm not saying there aren't any black or brown disabled people speaking up. It's just you don't see them as often. It's like they're being buried underneath the rug of whiteness and
Yeah.
just yeah,
I
it sucks.
agree. And then they'll have a platform and they'll say we're diverse, and they'll have maybe one of us, or they'll have uh sometimes maybe two of us, and that's it. They're diverse by having those two, but that doesn't really show the wide variety in ways that we as black people and as brown people, as people of color, deal with disability. And it's hard because we're not only getting it from that platform of white supremacy, right, of not feeling like we're included in the disability movements and advocacy, but then we're also getting it from our own black community of don't claim.
Oh my god! Oh my! Oh! You just you oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Sorry. No, you just hit a nerve, and it's not a bad one. It's the holy, holy moly! That was a good one. That was a good one. Oh my god! It's like I have to catch my breath. Holy moly! I was
I
saying
mean,
I was
oh,
I wanna
go ahead.
I gotta get it out. I'm sorry. And I definitely agree with what you just said because it took my grandmother and my aunt, and I love them to bits. We've had our little spats and stuff and whatever, because every family does. But it hurts more because they grew up around disabled
Mm-hmm.
people, and it took a while for my grandma to really, really like step away from the ableist stuff. Like she can still be ableist because like she's the older generation, like boomers and the generation X or whatever, what have you. I'm like older generation. I was like born like 2001, so I feel like I'm a millennial, but I'm not.
Yeah.
So,
I,
like,
you're right on the
she's
cusp.
definitely like
Yep.
she's definitely older and like understand. Like I'm not gonna lie, I was pushy with the autism stuff and getting them to understand when my cousin was diagnosed at a young age because he's 5 and he's again he's in this world where it's like I look around as somebody who's I'm about to be like 23 in a couple of months, and I'm already seeing so much happening in such a short time, and it's like wow, like, and I'm going back to what you said. It's like I see a couple of posts from other black creators and stuff, and how they say that there was this one post, and it's by this creator named Shark Tizzy. They are a black creator, and I'm saying they is like a general like
Yeah.
pronoun term 'cause I don't want to like I never want to like never want to say anybody's pronouns or assume, but they made a post saying how autism isn't a right thing, and I saved that post because it's like I always grew up being told, "Oh, disability is a white people's thing," like they really, and I understand it in the sense of they, I understand in the sense of the black community wanting to protect their own
Yep.
kids from the cops, from the white supremacy, authoritative leadership. I get that. They instill, like, oh, you have to watch your back. You can't trust a lot of people, and I get that because they're coming from a place of we've always been stepped on. We've always been, you
Right.
spoken over, and they're trying to take control over that. And there are ways they can do it in a more respectful way, and I can understand they don't want their kids being hurt the way they have been hurt or the way their ancestors have been hurt in the past. And I see that a lot of times, and it's goes further beyond my grandmother, my own family, and like
Mhm.
the Black community as a whole. And I see a lot of times like they use toughness and aggressiveness as a way to not compensate for the fear that they're feeling, but as a way to hide that fear because they don't want to be seen as vulnerable. You have a lot of Black men who do not want to go to therapy because they see that as them being weak. They see them as that being, they don't want to ever show vulnerability because they've always been taught, be a man, be tough, protect your family, do this, do that. And when you're constantly being told that over and over and over again, you start to believe that. You start to believe, oh, therapy ain't for me. I ain't going to
Yeah.
therapy. They have this sort of abrasiveness to them because they're afraid to be vulnerable. They don't want to be vulnerable in fear of being seen as weak. And we need to erase that from society because going to therapy isn't weak. I understand this.
Yep.
If you're going to therapy and the therapist is like racist and they're being rude and they're, just not a great fit, I understand that. But if you're refusing to go to therapy to address serious mental health concerns and serious, not like issues like, oh, something's wrong with them, but like serious issues that need to be addressed if it's like addiction or something, or they were like going through actual mental health conditions and they're using unhealthy coping mechanisms like drinking and stuff, they need to go to therapy. And I do understand there can be avoiding therapy because of cost, because of racism, because just a whole host of things, and I understand that. But if you have the ability to go to therapy through local resources in your state, in your city, in your county, go to therapy. It's there for a reason.
Let's also talk about the parents who are. I posted about yesterday about